Tá, só falou uma vez. Beanbags. Bags também, né? É. Ah, opa. Olha. É isso, está diferente. Essa roupa é diferente. Eu acho. Não me lembro de ver ela com essa roupa.
Parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him.
Ah, tá contando essa mesma história.
Tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly into the living room, nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom, he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't
Ela tá repetindo a mesma história.
Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. Is that enough? Okay.
Ela recontou essa mesma história aqui. Mas essa daqui eu acho que é a Eve contando. Não sei. Deixa eu ver se found out. Tem? Não. Não. Eu pesquisei house? Não lembro. Olha.
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there. He has a wallet, a huge, silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. You know. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house.
Ok. Por que isso é importante? Não sei.
I wasn't in the house.
Quando ele morreu, ela tava viajando, tava em Glasgow.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night.
Tava em Glasgow.
After the argument, after Simon left.
Sim, supostamente ela estava em Glasgow.
I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
Deixa eu ver wallets. Por que o wallet dele é irrelevante? Ué. Tickets. Ah.
I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. And they put points on the license.
Do carro?
You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets.
É porque a Eve dirige mal, né?
I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something, that's why I was speeding. And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
Tá, essa é a foto que eles viram dela, né? Aqui.
Yeah. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
que isso tem a ver com a morte do Simon? É, por que tem ela correndo? A ver.
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only
magical, outra palavra.
I spent a lot of time reading books.
Lendo Rapunzel.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories. Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements.
É engraçado que elas eram vizinhas, né? Bem que a Florence podia ter ido num lugar mais longe, né? Mas...
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Tadinha. E ela ganha ela ganha um espelho de presente. Que ela não queria ver o reflexo, né? Que ela fala... É aqui que ela fala?
Silverleaf? No. Good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Ai, essa história é muito interessante. E o nome do bebê? Será que ela fala em algum momento?
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah.
Sarah.
Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
Ava.
I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Coloca um H no final pra não ficar simétrico. No nome da Sarah.
My name? That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
50% do database eu assisti, olha só. Vamos ver, Sarah. Será que é a gente? A gente é a filha. Ava. Será que é a gente? Como que será que é o nosso nome? Ele fala o nosso nome? Não. Será que a gente é Sarah ou é a Ava? Que mais que dá pra pesquisar? Ahá! Achei a música inteira, eu acho.
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
Agora a gente pode ouvir a música inteira.
Want me to play something?
Mas por que que ela vai tocar o violão? Não sei.
Not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. She pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind. So I think that's a good place to stop.
Uma música tradicional, The Wind and the Rain Achievement. Vamos ver o final.
Really? Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock to dry. Oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing when you use as evidence against you.
Boa. Gostei da musiquinha. Vou pôr na sessão porque eu gostei. Eu gosto dessa música. E ela é uma música, é uma balada mesmo. Deixa eu ver uma coisa. Fair. Affair. Ah.
An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair.
Oh, não? Nossa, eu acho que essa é a Hannah, hein?
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Não foi a Eve que matou ele, foi a Hannah que matou ele. Nesse caso, ela tá falando a verdade. Love.
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
Aqui ainda tá como desaparecido, né?
No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me.
Eita, travou? Ele trava mesmo assim? Ou foi meu PC que travou? Opa!
No. He loves me.
Foi meu PC que travou.
Cute. You must love them very much. What ages are they? I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
A Hannah tinha o Simon, só que não exatamente como ela queria, né? Não era verdadeiro o que eles tinham.
Well, there you go. How many kids?
Não lembro se eu já pesquisei isso. Não.
So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage. Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously. After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
Wafer.
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
Opa, autoteste.
Yes, I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
Mais ou menos. Mais ou menos. Mas não é. É o teste de Horcrux. Como que é o nome? Teste de Rorschach. É que é difícil escrever o nome dele. É Rorschach. Acho que é esse o teste que ele tá fazendo com ela. Como que se escreve isso em inglês, será? Será que tá certo? Deve estar certo, né? Porque acho que é o nome do cara, né? Rorschach.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on and got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There are lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at. Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear and she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed. Simon's parents offered to put me up, but I didn't think it would be a good idea. It would be too sad. Not right now. I'm staying at a friend's.
Opa.
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
Monte.
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew. She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that. My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
Eu não entendi. Ela disse pro Simon sobre eu. Disse que eu estava grávida. Então, tipo, a Hannah chegou a saber da gravidez da Eve, só que ela não associou que a Eve estava grávida do Simon, é isso? E aí, quando o Simon entendeu que ela era a irmã da... Aí ele ligou, ele fez 2 mais 2 igual a 4 e acho que daí ele entendeu. E daí a Hannah percebeu. Será que é isso? Tell her. Olha lá.
I think it was that time, the first time, at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm.
É isso que eu tô pensando. O cara tem um pau de ouro, né?
I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
É, mas pelo visto ela não associou que era do Simon.
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean and sign about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
É isso que aconteceu. Vamos ver se tem.
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
Ela não aceita porque ela tá grávida.
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And
Essa é a Eve.
Is there a bin? And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
Ela é obcecada, né? A Eve é obcecada por livros de conto de fada. Coitada.
I wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just, it was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys.
A Ivy era que realmente amava o Simon e o Simon amava ela. A Hannah não tem esse amor, né? A Hannah é fria.